Now, this was probably 11 years ago, but I'm out just walking with my dogs in the evening. It was night. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and I was just doing my daily walk with my dogs in the evening before I put them up for the night. I'm just doing what I do, or what I did every night at that time, in that place. And I'm walking along, and Big Daddy clearly spoke and said, I want to show you the kingdom of light. Stay with me. This is good, especially when we get to the third kingdom. And all of a sudden, everything that had life in it, every bush, every tree, every leaf, every blade of grass, even every weed, anything that had life in it was glowing. And I just looked all around, and everything that had life was glowing. It wasn't an aura, an outer glow. It was an inner glow glowing out from all the different plants that had life in them. And then 3 days later, I'm doing the same thing. I did the same thing every night about the same time with my dogs. 3 days later, he speaks again. He says, I want to show you the kingdom of darkness. And I was like, I don't know if I want to see this, but whatever. And couldn't see anything. It was dark. It was darkness. But I had a feeling, or it was horror. It was just absolute horror. There was no life. There was no light. There was no love. Total absence of love. And it was horror. And after just a minute or two, I was like, oh, I don't want to see this anymore. And it just kind of went away. Then 7 days later, this was a life changer. 7 days later, I'm doing the same thing about 10 o'clock at night, letting my dogs just move about the property. We walked down a long driveway out to the road and back slowly, and they just did what they did. And that night, he said, I want to explain to you the kingdom of I. I was like, okay, the kingdom of I. What is the kingdom of I? He said, the kingdom of I is yourself. Your body is made up of innumerable number of individual cells. You have skin cells that are alive. You have liver cells, lung cells, stomach lining cells, brain cells, muscular cells, cardiac cells, bone cells, marrow cells. There were just all kinds of cells, and they made up a kingdom. And he said, you are the king of this kingdom. It's the kingdom of I. We all are the king of our kingdom. We, as the king, need to get to make decisions that move the kingdom around. We, as the king of the kingdom of I, can decide to do this, to do that, to take that thought, to let go of that thought, to not take that thought. As the king, you are totally in control of the kingdom of I. Who you listen to, what you listen to, has a huge effect on your kingdom. It has a huge effect on how you, as the king, direct your kingdom. We're not robots. Even the Messiah, the King, Mashiach Nagid, Yeshua himself, in the garden the night before he was given up to a torturous, horrible death, it's recorded as him praying something like this: Daddy, is there any other way? I mean, can't we rethink this thing? I mean, this impending sacrifice that I'm going to have to go through, is there any other way? Nevertheless, not my will, but your will. As the king of his kingdom of I, he subserviated himself to the one who was above him, the one who was his head. He gave himself for us, because this was the plan. This was a huge part of the purpose, the plan, before the universe was ever even created. Daddy knew all what was gonna take place before he ever started. He knew every decision we would all make, including his miraculously birthed son, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah. He knew. He knew he would make the right decision in that garden. He knew. That was very early in my time of sitting with Daddy. He called me, come sit with me, come sit with me. And that was one of the very first lessons that he taught me, the three kingdoms: the kingdom of light, the kingdom of darkness, and the kingdom of I. When we put Big Daddy on our calendar, first thing, whenever we get up, we enter into oneness with him. He's calling out to us, and we're responding and saying, as the king of this kingdom, I am making the decision for this kingdom to stop and turn and go up and enter into that secret place of the Most High One. When we do that, we get to join in the Father's rest, and we get covered in His peace, and we get filled with His joy. And it's an amazing thing. Wow. When you, as the king of your kingdom, the king of the kingdom of I, and you choose His will above your will, you get to start learning exactly what His will is. What is His will for you? What is His purpose for you? As the king of the kingdom of I, you have access to those answers. It's pretty simple. You give yourself to Him, humble yourself like a little child, let go of everything, empty hands. Blessed are the poor in spirit, those that in their spirit are willing to give up everything just so they could sit with Big Daddy every single day. Wow. You're the king. You didn't know you were a king, did you? You're the king of the kingdom of you. Stop. Turn. at rest, covered in peace, filled with joy.